Matt is first. Destroying the competition. And drone shots is next. You got a new splash of fruit Canada Dry flavor. Strawberry. It's really good when you take a can of the cherry and a can of the strawberry, mix them together. Yeah, I found that Motorola phone too that I made the case for. I made the Thundercats case. It was in the car the whole time. Hiding. We're gonna make sure I bring this. Charging my whole batteries. So how are you guys doing today? Oh, Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Something I've always wanted to do, and I might still try to do it. I want to make a Sword of Omens, but I want to make it semi-functional. So, two things I really want to do. You know, it won't be exactly like the original. I'm going to have to take some artistic license to make it really work. But first of all, making the blade extend, well, we already have that. We have the 3D printed collapsible sword, okay? So I can just use that to make the blade extend. The second thing I want to do is I want to make the what do you call it? Not the pommel's the bottom. What's the part that protects your hand from the other blade? Well, that part of the sword. I want to make that part of the sword do the curve in thing it does when he looks through it. So I think I make it out of something flexible so that it'll be a little bit. So it'll just go from like this to this. Ah, yeah, they were similar. I'm surprised there was never a crossover. Now, you see, now that would have been badass. A crossover between Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, and Voltron. And maybe even now I know it can't have done because it was Japanese anime, but maybe even Transformers. But yeah, Thundercats, um, He-Man, and Voltron would have made one hell of a crossover. Boy, would that have been fun. Staining coming through from behind. I take it down, I wash it, and it goes away. It comes out in the wash. Well, at least it seems to come out in the wash. At first, I thought it was the cat licking it, but no way he's gonna reach up there. So I gotta take it down and wash it again. I gotta put another fabric behind it, and then put this on top of it so that it doesn't do that. Doesn't transfer through. This stuff's really really thin. Whatever is coming, I don't know if it's moisture, humidity. I have no idea what it is, but it stains it. And what's weird is only that half doesn't do this half. I'm wondering if I have a leak behind that panel there. I'll have to get the thermal camera out and check that next time it rains. See if there's any kind of leak behind. Only that one panel. This panel and this panel. Do it. I felt bad for accusing the cat. I was saying, "What are you doing, cat?" And then I realized he can't reach up there. What's he gonna do? Jump up and do a good jump, jump, like the Yoshi geckos. Like that's not gonna work. I gotta clean that up again. I love that tapestry. It also has something to do with light. The light makes it pop for some reason. Because when I don't have the studio lights on, it doesn't do that. Not as badly. My buddy David in Denver, he does Dungeons and Dragons. He loves wolves, so he downloaded or he bought a wolf. So I printed it out. That's at 0.08 layers, the 0.4 nozzle. I was gonna go to the O2 printer, but I realized I didn't need to. I just did it on that one, about 7 hours, and I had to scale it a little bit. Otherwise, some of the details just didn't come out. And then he wanted a larger one, so I said, okay. Scaled it up. I haven't cleaned it up yet. So you see, I got to clean up the fuzz on the back. Nuclear officials disappearing? Uh-oh. That ain't good. Really? That's interesting. There we go. Oh, and I got to snip off this. And there's the wolf. I added a little stub under his tail, so I didn't need support there. Then I had a manual piece of support that I built into the print to support his chin right here. Print that, and it just breaks off. Yeah, it's nice. The base is too big, though. Look how huge the base is compared to the wolf. But separating the wolf from the base would be really hard. It's doable, but what a pain. What I think I might have to do if I want to do that is use a cone to take some of the land with the wolf. And then when I scale the wolf, adjust it so that the discontinuity in the land like mixes in so you can't really tell. That might work. I got 2 days left on the bonus from Chime. So if you want to help me out with the Chime thing, basically Chime offers a 100-100 deal. Basically, you get somebody to sign up, they get $100, you get $100. But every now and then they run specials. That's what's got 2 days left after the 18th, where I get $300 if I get somebody to sign up. You still get 100. So if anybody wants to do that for me, if you're in the U.S., I can post my link for you to sign up for Chime, and it's very, very easy. You sign up, you do a direct deposit of over $200, and you activate the debit card when you get it, and that's it. Both instantly get our payout. Within an hour of you activating your debit card, we'll get our payouts. And you might be thinking, oh yeah, direct deposit. I have a solution to that. I figured out how to game the system. I think I'm pretty sure it's US only. So the hardest part of doing this is you need direct deposit. And nobody wants to mess around with their direct deposit, assuming they even have direct deposit. Well, I can fix that. Since I have a business checking account, I have the ability to send direct deposits. Yeah, and it's free. I could do 10 a month for free. No, 5 a month. I could do 10 vendors, 5 ACHs, but after that, it only costs me 50 cents each. So I can send a direct deposit that qualifies. So what I'm having people do is they send me $210, and then I send the $210 back as a direct deposit. And within 5 or 6 days, you get your money back. That qualifies as a direct deposit, and that triggers the bonus once you activate the debit card. Yeah. My Patreon income has dropped in half, so I've been living off these bank bonuses for the last 3 or 4 months. I wait until I get the $300 or $250 offer, and that's when I do it, to maximize the cash out. So if anybody wants to help with that, let me know. I've got 4 people to do it so far, plus my 2 sisters. They did it as well, and that's what I've been living on for the last 6 months. I got BMO coming in the next 15 or 20 days. I should get $400 from BMO, and if I get paid out, I'm going to do it again with Gal's name, and so that'll be another $400. But that one takes like 4 months to get paid out. Chime is nice because it's immediate. As soon as you activate that debit card and have the direct deposit done, you get paid out right away. So it's nice for quick cash. The BMO, I had to do $4,000 in direct deposits within 90 days. And he's like, how are you going to do $4,000? I'm not. I'm just going to recycle it over and over again. So Logan sent me, my brother, Pennsylvania, he sent me $100 a week for 6 weeks until I had $600. And what I've been doing is I would send myself a $600 direct deposit, and then I would transfer the money back to my account, do another $600 direct deposit, transfer the money back to my account, do another $600 direct, and just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It cost me nothing. I just keep doing that until I hit $4,000, using the same money over and over again. Oh man, there's nothing more addictive than taking money from a bank. It's so delicious taking money from a bank. Although I notice most people keep their Chime account. It's handy. Chime has an interesting feature where it's kind of like Zelle. You can send money to anybody. Anybody with a phone number, just send them or email. And they can then just enter their current bank card for whatever bank they have. And they have what's called a C transfer now. This used to be frowned upon because we used to do this all the time at our store, and then our merchant yelled at us for doing it, so we had to stop doing it. Like my dad would get like $2,000 worth of credit card transaction a day, and so he would do a refund onto one of his credit cards to sort of count like a payment. Hey, SPC. And what we didn't realize was that refund was also refunding merchant fees. And then they caught on. We actually honestly didn't know it was doing that. That wasn't our intent. It was just a convenient way of taking money off of a balance. And now they have an official way of doing it. It's called a C transfer. Basically, it's you can charge a debit card money, and then you can also put money back on a debit card the same way, using a reverse function of the credit card transaction. And so that's how Chime does it. You put in your debit card, your credit card number, expiration code, and whatnot, and basically it charges your debit card a negative number, which adds money to your account. So it's kind of like a reverse debit, which is pretty cool. I use it all the time to move money out of my Chime into other accounts really easily, because I have now I can't use my main phone to do it because my main phone is associated with my Zelle account. I'm not my Zelle, my Chime account, but my tablet has a different phone number, so I use that phone number. And I get a text message, I tap it, and I say, hey, Chris is back. And I click cash out my money, and 2 minutes later, it's there. Very handy. Very convenient. But if anybody is willing to do that, I can facilitate the direct deposit. So you send me a Zelle of $210, just to make sure that it's over $200. And then I send a direct deposit to your new Chime account that you sign up for. You send me the account number and routing number. I send you a direct deposit. It takes like 3 or 4 days, not counting the weekend. And as far as Chime's concerned, that's a direct deposit from work. You're an employee of today's 3D print. It actually comes up as direct ACH transfer today's 3D print. It's awesome. and we both get paid. Honey, I'm hoping I have bills to pay first. I got to pay my car insurance. I send the $600 back to Logan. I have to pay my electric bill. I'm under the threshold for taxes. I'm well under the threshold for taxes. We're talking a couple $1,000s a year. So that's not taxable. Now, of course, if I made above the, what is it, $17,000 taxable threshold, then yes, I would have to count those as income. But I easily have enough to write off that I can write off pretty much everything. I mean, hell, this trip to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap is going to cost me $450 in gas. Ouch. Because gas prices have more than doubled. But so that's a tax write-off. That's a direct write-off on my taxes. It's not hard. Everything I eat on the trip, that's a write-off. Anything I buy on the trip, that's a write-off. Any of these supplies, all this stuff that I buy to do these projects, that's all non-taxable. Write it all off. My income is so low that I have enough to get me below the threshold. It's never a problem. Up to 10 so far? Oh, the 10 nuclear officials. I got this done. Except for the fact that I can't run it on batteries because I don't have any more batteries. I finally gave up on those batteries arriving and I got my money back. So now I got to order them again. Wait another 2 months. Hope they arrive. I do have one more change I need to make. Well, first I made a couple changes to these two parts just to clean them up, make them neater, make it easier for you to do your job. Make it easier to align these. It's got a big 90mm heatsink inside there. One change I need to make though is right now this piece here, there's a screw going through this piece and a screw going through this piece to hold the handle in. And that's a little bit of a problem because this can rotate, which loosens the screws. So I'm going to see if I can fit 2 screws in this end. Because if I put 2 screws, then it can't rotate. And it might also work to offset the screws. I'm not sure how well that... Like, I don't want to offset this one because you'll be able to see that. It'll look ugly. But I might be able to offset this one, and that might stop the rotation. Or I can simply make... actually, this might be easier. Yeah, actually, this probably would be easier. Because it wouldn't require a second screw. Yeah. Since I print this standing up, put a hole in this piece and a divot, a pin in this piece so that these two pieces interlock. So a little square on top of this and a little hole to receive the square on this piece here so that when you put it together, these two pieces lock together and it can't rotate. I need to stop this from rotating. Otherwise that screw is going to come loose over time. Everything can be disassembled. I got the big switch here, so I can turn the lights on, or I can turn the secondary lights on, which I'll get to in a minute. USB-C port, I'm using that new one. What's interesting is I can actually power this by USB with no battery inside. Because they share a common rail. I can actually plug this in. You see it lights up green. Then, there you go. It is bright. It is very, very bright. That's just 4 of them. So I can still demo it by doing that. By plugging in USB. Since I don't have the batteries for it yet. But yeah, it's just got that old school lantern look. I love this. This just came out really neat. This is just generic transparent PETG. This is Filamentum CPE neon orange. And this is Filamentum Icelandic blue. But yeah, that just came out really sharp. I'm super happy with that. You see there's 2 screws on the side here. It's because there's a brace inside to hold the battery, make sure it doesn't jiggle around. 2 screws in here, so this doesn't work. There might be, maybe, and even if there isn't, I'm going to make one with 2 batteries. So I'm thinking about upscaling this to have a 3x3 grid of lights. So you have 9 of these lights on here, and then have 2 batteries in here, because that'll be 128 watt hours. Now at that point, I would then put a USB port on here so you could charge your phone and stuff like that off of this. Hey, Maker Viking. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. But this is it's already going to be pretty heavy with 1 battery, so I just want to watch out for weight. Yep, I'm doing okay. Here more fricks. But that came out really sharp. I am super, super happy with this. And it's also one of the few where all the parts fit perfectly the first time. I didn't have to redo any parts. Now, I did make changes to these, but those are changes I wanted to make, not changes that were needed. It all fit without making those changes. Definitely use some of the dark witchcraft stuff from Vision Miner, the nanopolymer for the CPE, because this stuff, oh god, this stuff loves to warp. Oh man, does this stuff love the warp. This stuff warps worse than ABS. And yeah, I am super pleased with that. You get that heatsink relatively cheap. I think that heatsink was less than $4. So that's a 90mm by 90mm heatsink for less than $4. So I was super happy with that. Yeah, that came out nice. Switch fits perfect. USB port snicks right into place. It fits perfect. Oh, it just came out so nice. And the whole thing goes together with 1/2" modified truss number 8 screws, self-drilling screws. So the whole thing goes together with that one type of screw. So you'll need 4, 8, 12, 14 screws, 16 screws. So 16 screws, the whole thing goes together. Oh, plus you'll need, technically you don't need screws. This fits so tight that it doesn't go anywhere, but 2 M3 screws for the switch. The holes are there for it, but I haven't added them because it's so tight that it doesn't move at all. Yeah, I'm super, super happy with that. It looks real nice next to the rest of them. So there's the power bank that has the dual 20-watt chargers. And then, of course, the flashlight. Original. If you haven't seen this yet, these are 5-watt modules. I believe these are 5 watts. That's at maximum, but we're not running them at maximum. So this one, USB-C. It all screws together, threads together. This one you have your 2 up front for lighting up, and then you have your dim side emitter for lighting up the table. You have your TPU grip so you don't lose grip of it. And you can put it for left hand or right hand. And then on whatever one you're not using for the grip, you can add these little attachments. So you can attach your doggy bags here, carabiner or your Molly connection here, attach to your pack. All the gold parts are TPU, so that it has some shock absorption when it hits the ground. That's a 400-gram battery inside there. That's a big battery. It's a 20 amp hour, so 20,000 milliamp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. It will last forever. This one is 4 of these modules. Since I have such a big beefy heatsink on there, I might actually put a boost converter in here and boost it to the 4.5 volts it's rated at, since I have proper cooling, to make it even brighter. But I don't think it's necessary. I mean that's pretty damn bright. I don't have any more batteries, so I have to power it by USB. But yeah, that's pretty damn bright. I can. Oh wow. Maybe that might be a placebo. But I can feel warmth. I don't think I can. I think I think I can. But yeah, that came out real nice. Oh, for this one here, I did something interesting. Oh, little twist. Let's see here. Switch views. So here's the CAD model. See, there's the brace inside. There's where the battery sits. Let's get rid of all this. Let's get rid of all this. Selected a little too much. So this is the back brace. So a couple changes I made. First, I added a little indent for the heatsink. This way it's self-aligning. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to see if, I don't know if it's possible yet, but this is the screw that goes into the handle. I'm going to see if I can put two of them side by side to stop the handle from rotating. And then you notice I got this really nice little channel going all the way around. Then it comes into here. Yeah, it took a lot of work to get this all, look how nice and smooth I got all that. Using all curves to make that work. Yeah, that came out nice. So the purpose of this is for a firefly light. I ordered. Of course, it's not going to be here in time. It's going to be here Friday, which is too late. Urgh. Yeah, they're estimating it's going to be here Friday, which is really annoying. At least if it came tomorrow, I should be able to bring it with me and, you know, make the changes. Oh, and you're going to make me do it again. Come on. So I ordered this. One of these 300 millimeter long LED filament strands. Now, I ordered the warm white. I was tempted to order the pink. So I want a pink one. But I know most people are probably going to want the warm white. So I ordered the warm white, the 2700K. That actually, no, you're right. I already changed my mind. I'm not doing two holes. I'm doing the pin because the pin doesn't require hardware. All I have to do is modify the 3D file. Yeah, I've already decided that. That's right. I keep forgetting. I'd rather add a tiny bit of. Actually, it's going to add no plastic because the plastic I add for the pin is being removed from the other part for the receptacle for the pin. So there'll be no change in plastic usage. Just a slight design change. That'll lock it and stop it from turning. So I added this, and this is designed to run off 3 volts, which means this will run straight off of the lithium iron phosphate battery, which is a nominal 3.2. Although I'm probably still going to have to put a step down to make this as dim as possible. That is going to lay inside this channel, and then go in through here and plug into a second. This has 2 connections. So this switch has 2 outputs. So you have your main light, and then you have your secondary output. That secondary output is going to light up the firefly, which is going to be that LED strip, that LED filament that's going to be inside here all the way around head of this light. So this whole entire plate will glow a little bit from the action of that light being inside there. I just think that will look really cool. It's the kind of thing where especially if you run it super dim, like I'm talking barely lit up, so that it'll run for like 2 weeks on the battery. This way, when you're camping or whatever, you just switch on the firefly mode. This will just very gently glow. And that'd be great for if you want to be able to find it. You know, where's my flashlight? Oh, there it is glowing. Or if the kid wants a night light in the tent with such a large battery running at such a low power, we're talking like maybe a 1/4 watt of power, maybe a 1/2 watt of power. So very little power. Like I know this battery will run these 2 LED emitters for over 5 days. So running this emitter at minimum power, it should be able to run that for 8 to 10 days. So that's the idea, is to make sure I can run that Firefly strip, that LED filament strip, it's like 10 or 12 days. Just so you can, when you're camping, you can just leave that on all night, and the kids will have a night light, and you'll be able to find your flashlight. I just think that's a cool feature. You have such a huge battery, why not do cool things like that? When your flashlight's running off a AA battery, you can't do that. But when your flashlight's running off of a 20 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery that has a cycle life that's going to exceed your lifespan, why not? So that's a change I made, and it printed perfectly, no issues. Let's add the pin. Let's get that done real quick. This way. All right. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of all you. Okay. It's parent. Right. There is the hole. Let's put you here. Let's do how big is 6 by 6? That looks like it fits. I have to watch out that I don't interfere with this hole. Hate when it does that. Do this. There we go. Okay. Need enough gap to make sure I have perimeters around the hole that I'm going to build. All right, now, what does this look like on this end? All right, we are still inside the model. That's okay. We don't leave the model. Okay. Now, how big do I want that to be? How big is this? This is 20, maybe 10. Back to solid. Yep, that looks good to me. Work plane here. You drop. Gonna make you. Of course, it's off the screen. It's always off the screen. 6. Yep, 6 millimeters should be enough. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to Control D. I need to join this with one of these. Join. Okay. Now we take this and hide it. Have this left. This is going to extend. Come on. Why? So this is going to be 6.1. Oh, wait a minute. Should be able to this 6.1. Hey, 3D Medic. That should change all the dimensions to 6.1. Yes. Now we turn you. First, let's extend this back this way a little bit. Turn you into a hole. Rotate you up. And join. Bingo, bango, you are done. We have enough plastic here that we don't compromise integrity. We have a 0.1 millimeter tolerance on all faces. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Yeah. Okay, bring everything back. Let's hide all this. Now, one more change I want to make. Come on. Okay, that's a problem. Do a new one. This. We have to change the dimensions here. Okay. Take this, stretch it like that. So I can take this alignment on this here and here. Then I could delete this one. Now the reason we had to do this, come on, there we go. Height. We're gonna make that a 7. And it went the wrong way. Of course it went the wrong way. Of course, I can't see what it's fucking changing. Son of a bitch. -1. Now the reason we did this is I want to add a radius to this. Because no matter how good your printer is, you're going to have a little bit of ringing. So by adding a little tiny radius to this pin, we eliminate the ringing. And that will ensure the pin will fit inside the hole. I never did align that, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. And join. But that will ensure that this will fit cleanly inside that square hole, even with a little bit of ringing. Not a gap there, is there? That's why I extended it 1 millimeter. Yeah, we're good. We're clean. Okay. All right, that's it. Now you can see if I make this transparent, that peg fits into that hole right there. And we, of course, made sure the dimensions have enough tolerance to not be a problem. But now this can't rotate. Okay. Okay. I could do the same thing on both ends, but I don't know. I can't. Because then it wouldn't be able to print without support. And there's no need to. That's got 2 holes down here, so it can't move. Okay. Okay. Back to solid. Now we have to re-export these 2 pieces. That is the orientation. Export. DL. How you doing, 3D Medic? Okay. That is that piece. Ah, you bastard. Why'd you do that? Huh, I got offset somehow. Now we take this one, take it this way, export this. This is the grip. Well, that's the nice thing about Tinkercad is it's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It's visually oriented. And now the trick with doing complex things in Tinkercad. Oh shit. Gotta make sure it actually saved that rotation. Yes. Okay. The orientation was saved. All right. I am showing you guys my screen, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sweet. I also shortened I shortened this a little bit so you have a gap between the top of this and the bottom of this lid so that the wires can cross over. Yeah, it came out real nice. Now, a couple other changes I made. Washer's being noisy today. So I realized the cutouts for the LEDs don't have to be shaped exactly like the LEDs. They just have to be the square shape of the LEDs, which makes it easier to print and easier to fit. I also have a deeper channel in the middle here so that the solder blobs don't push the plastic out and cause problems. And then I also added a beef to this channel and a channel here to make it easier for people who like to hide the wires, don't want to see the wires. And so that all works very well. And I have zero issues now. There is a hole here in the center, just in case you want to drill a hole in the aluminum heatsink. And these are self-tapping screws. You can screw one of these screws into the heatsink, although I haven't had a need to do that. But the provision is there if you want to. There we go. That is done. Although I'm out of, I don't think I have enough. That might be enough. I'm not sure if that's enough Icelandic blue to print another handle. It's going to be tight. I'm going to try. But you son of a bitch. Gotta mess with me, don't you? God damn mess. Hi, kitty cat. Messaging. Oh, it's got filtered. But the trick with working with Tinkercad is remembering that Tinkercad is only parametric if you're parametric. So you have to do the parametric work, keep things in order. And if you're going to create a deviation, you duplicate and keep copies. And this way you can deviate back if you want. And then also when you get towards the end, you want to disassemble your part and then reassemble it. But you want to reassemble it in a specific order so that the things that you might have to change later are the last things that you merge. So that when you unmerge the part to make that slight change, you don't have to unmerge 20 steps. And like for example, this box here. The last thing that I merged is the screw holes and the cutouts for the switches, because those are the things that I'm likely to need to change at some point. So I don't want to have to go undo to get to that point. So I make my life easier by controlling the order in which I merge and combine things, so that in the future I have an easier time dealing with it. Okay. All right. I can't think of anything else I need to change on this. If I make a double battery version, which I could do just by enlarging this whole thing a little bit bigger, because this would have to be bigger in order to support a 9x9 grid. I first need to find a heatsink big enough. So I'd probably have to use, get like a 100x50 heatsink and get 2 of them. So I'd have a, no, I need 120. Yeah, the heatsink needs to be 120x120, and that'll support 9 of these lights. I don't know if I want to do this. I'll think about it, because it's going to be very involved. But I was thinking I could also make, see here how I have 2 plates? So this is the front plate, and this is the back plate. When you sandwich them together, you have the light. And then the rest screws into this. I was thinking having 3 plates. So having 1, 2, and then a third one. These 2 would sandwich together and create a single block. And then this third plate would go in the place of this plate here, connecting all of this. And then the double front plate plus this plate would connect by hinge. And by connecting by a hinge, you could put this light down and then angle that light matrix any direction you want. So you could stand it on its end and then angle that light up and shine it down on a workspace, or put it on the ground and shine it up underneath the car. I'm just thinking people might find that useful. You just have to make sure your pigtail for your wires is long enough, or build it into the hinge. I could do that too. I can have a channel that would run the wire in the channel. This way the wire is always long enough. Yeah, I bet. That's the next thing I want to do, is I want to make a flashlight that has these emitters. The reason I use these emitters is because they're so cheap. So let me show you this. So I buy these by the dozens. You've probably seen it. You've seen the little square keychain flashlight. You know, it's USB-C charged. It's got that little square 25mm emitter on it. And it's a little keychain light. They're like $2 on AliExpress and stuff like that. Well, I guess they realized they make millions of those lights, so they could sell the parts. You can buy the LED emitters, 20 for about $3.50. So I buy a lot of them. I have stacks of them because they're so cheap. They come in like 6 to a stack like this. I get them for like I've gotten them for as low as like 12.5 cents each. And they run straight off a battery. You don't need an LED driver unless you want to dim it. And these are actually designed to run at a slightly higher voltage than a lithium iron phosphate battery puts out, which means you're never going to overdrive them. And so like, for example, on this flashlight, these two emitters are running raw dog right off the battery, although I do have copper heat sinks in there. And I know it's so ridiculously cheap, it's crazy. This one here, I'm running an LED driver. I turned it all the way down so that I can make it as dim as possible. That should run for 10 or 12 days on this battery. 10 or 12 days. Not hours, days. 24/7. That should run for 10 or 12 days. That'll run for over 60 hours. We hit 60 hours before it started dimming. And so that should run for literally weeks. I wonder if I might have to test it one day just to see if I can get 2 weeks out of that. And then if you want to make a USB charging unit that runs off these things, you can get these for about $4.25. It's literally 2 wires, positive, negative. That's it. It's USB plus USB-C, 22.5 watt, bi-directional. You can charge and discharge, and it's got a display tell you the capacity. You can't really see because it's too bright. But yeah, $4. And I got 2 of them. So I put 2 of these end caps on here. So I have one down here and one down here. Now, once you start using 2 of them, the power meter loses accuracy, because this power meter does not register the power this one draws, and this power meter doesn't register the power this one draws. However, the min and max voltage still works fine. So you can run 2 of these modules on one battery. And the cool thing is, this battery can handle a hell of an input because it's such a big battery. So I can plug a 20-watt charger into both of these. So I can charge this at 40 watts. It's nice. That's really, really nice. To charge it fast. Yeah. You just got to make sure you use decent, like 20 gauge wire if you're going to try doing that, because like, for example, I found out that this the USB-C PD trigger will permit like 7 amps to run through that. And some of my chargers, like this one, will actually push 6.5, 7 amps. That's 25 watts. So you got to make sure your wire can handle that. Oh yeah, you can fix pretty much anything with these LED. They're so freaking cheap. Let me try to find them for you again. They're usually in the Dollar Express section. Again, if you download my flashlight, my bill of materials is basically pictures of the components. Grab that picture and do an image search on AliExpress, and it'll pop up. Well, I found a couple of new things that I really want to play with. So I want to play. This here is really cool. It's a outdoor solar light that has a single LED on the end of a tether. I can think of a few ways I can use that. These are the connectors I use. 10 of them for $3.50. These have the 5.16K pull down resistors built in. So this will act as a dumb USB port, and it'll tell these USB-C PD chargers I need 5 volts. Don't have that, it won't work. That's why we use PD triggers. I want to get some of these if I get them cheaper. I think I can get them for as low as $1 a piece. This is a wine bottle cork with a solar panel and a little string of fairy lights. I want to make a big 3D printed willow tree and then hang like 30 of these from it. I just think that would look so cool. Miku. I love Miku. Come on, where is this? Oh, 5-volt, 10-watt circular LED emitters. These are cool if you want to run directly off tool batteries. Like $3 a piece for the big one. And that'll run directly off like your DeWalt 18-volt batteries. Need any kind of conversion. There it is. So this is 10 for $2. Can sometimes get cheaper if you hunt around long enough. So there it is. You literally use stacks. Look, they got stacks of them. I want a box of them just because. But yeah, so if you get 10 of them, it's $2. 50 of them is $7. So yeah, that is cheaper than the 10. Now, be careful. Ah, stupid work. How dare work? I am showing you the screen, aren't I? Yeah. Screen. Be very careful when you order because sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Like, let me see if it'll do it. Okay, this one's actually cheaper. Okay, so this is $1.99 for 10. This is $2.99 for 20, which is cheaper. This is $3.79 for 30, which is cheaper per unit. Sometimes it's weird though. Sometimes buying 50 at a time actually costs more money than buying 10 at a time 5 times. So make sure you pay attention to the per unit pricing because sometimes they do weird things like that. This one makes sense. It's all cheaper the higher you go. So that's $7. Well, 30 is probably more reasonable. Yeah, $3.79 for 30 of them. 3.79 divided by 30. Yeah, 12.6 cents each. It's 12.5 cents each. It's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. And you can daisy chain them. So for example, where is my, there it is. I have 2 hat lights that I'm working on. Come on. So you have this one, which is just the LEDs. And there's 12 of them in here. So I'm gonna do 6 of them in series, and then the other 6 in series, and then take the 6S 2P configuration to a DeWalt battery. So this will sit at the top of a tripod, 10-foot pole, so light up all around. And I'll run this off 18 volts. So 6 of them at 3 volts each, that's 18 volts. So 6 and 6, I run that off of an 18-volt battery. Then I have this one. This is basically the same exact thing, okay? Except this one has a battery holder, and there's a cover that goes on this as well. This one, they're all going to run in parallel because they're all going to run off of one of those big giant batteries. So you have a spot here. There's where the switch goes. There's where the USB port goes. And this one, if there's enough, I think there is enough room in here. I may try to have 2 modes, low and high. We'll see. But yeah, that's the idea. So this one will be self-contained, battery-powered tripod stand, while this one, super lightweight unit. Just you'll run a wire down to the ground, and this one will run off of an 18-volt tool battery. So that's just a super simple one. I got little pass-throughs here for zip ties, managing your wiring. yeah, that works good. I mean, these LED emitters, I just keep coming up with new ideas of things to do with them just because they're so damn cheap. I found a new victim for my Bluetooth speaker I'm going to try. The IKEA has a little Bluetooth square speaker, and so far the reviews are very good. It's surprisingly loud, puts out the full rated power, and also the daisy chaining works. You can connect up to 100 of them. So I'm thinking about getting 3 of them, having 3 of the little squares right here. So I'll have a 12-watt speaker that runs off of one of these big batteries. um, mm, um, sorry. But yeah, there's and of course I'm coming up with different things to run this to run off of these big giant batteries, just because they'll last forever. And these batteries don't wear out. Not in your lifetime. You know, you're running a flashlight that can run for 5 days on a charge, and you have a 2500 cycle life battery. And that's to 80% state of charge. Even if you run that battery down to 50% state of charge, which will probably take something like 5,000 cycles, you'll still have enough power for 2 or 3 days of light. It'll last forever. It's never gonna fail. I mean, and of course, because you built it, it's serviceable. Everything's plug-in. You know, that's why I do everything with the JST plug. Everything is connected with these JST connectors, so that everything's plug and play. I don't have to desolder anything. If I know a piece failed, I solder up a new replacement, and then plug. It just plugs in. And you know, you break a clip, you print a new one. I mean, who cares? No big deal. I love this. This flashlight came out so freaking cool. I love this flashlight. I want to make a smaller one. Objective is to have a single square emitter on one end and a single dome emitter for throwing a beam further on the other end. And I want to run it off a 32700 cell, which is much smaller, but still 8 amp. OBS just glitched. Anything smaller than a 32700 cell can't handle a 3 amp charge rate, meaning you'll pop the battery if you try to charge it more than 3 amps. Now, if you have a battery that can handle 1 amp and you daisy chain 3 or 4 batteries together, you could do that, but I might as well just use a bigger cell at that point. As far as and even, you know, household lamps you could power with these things. All you have to do is down convert to 5-volt USB power and then plug these things in. That's it. You know, it's common to just replace the guts of a lamp with something like this. You know, a little USB module inside the gut of the lamp. And once you do that, then you can use these. You'll definitely want to make sure you put a step down converter or a LED driver on there, because 5 volts will push these a little bit hard. And if you don't have proper heat sinking, you'll burn them up. But yeah, the things you can do with this are just, and you can get these for 12 cents a piece. You'll come up with all kinds of ideas. Oh, I could try this. I could try that. I could try this. You come up with all kinds of ideas just because they're so readily available and so cheap. And a lot of your household lamps are made of metal. So as long as you have a flat area that you can push that heatsink against, use the whole entire lamp as a heatsink. And if you need a heatsink, those are cheap too. So little 40 by 40 heat sinks are not expensive at all. For anything. Let's see what else they got here. I love these little USB filament lights, but they are all touch. You got to touch them to turn them on. I want ones where they're just on. When they give them power, they turn on. You take away power, they turn off. So I want to set up an array of them on the ceiling. And obviously I can't go up there and go touch, 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 turn them all on. So I wish I can get these without the touch function, just on off. Let's see. What else? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. Why can't I hate when I can't open up. Would you look at that? So these are a common light strip. So they look just like that. And you can see I got some like that right here. Oh, I'm not showing you my screen. Nope. So this is a common strip. Looks like this. Except this one has RGB LEDs in it. Now that's cool. Just for funsies, you know? Oh, wow. I mean, that might be fun just to play around with. $4, I might have to try that. I'm going to add that to my list. Really? You're going to make me sign in again? Why? Why do you got to be such a pain in the ass? There it is. That's just cool. What else do they got? It's cool. I was looking at this 70 millimeter caliper, just because sometimes you don't need 150 millimeters. Having a nice compact one would be handy. And I realized it's dumb to pay $8 for this when I could just pay $5 for this one with a nice big screen and then just cut it shorter. Just cut the end off of it. It's the same thing. Why are you fucking with me? Urgh. There's the USB plugs. Here's some that are already configured with pigtails, but I think these are designed for 12 volts. Yeah, so this has something on it. This is different. These are designed for 12 volts. Here's another multicolor module, but it's more money. So it's $8 for the other one is $4. Same thing. Here's the one I got. This one right here is that's this right here. That's this one right here. Always looking for new stuff. Oh yeah, here's a 20 piece for $3.79. That's what I usually get. Yeah, 5-watt 3 volts. Here's some higher power emitters. But if you don't have enough heat sinking, you'll just burn those boogers up. And also, I always buy the JST plugs with the longest wire, 200 or 250 millimeters. Now, you're always going to have to cut them down because they're too long. That's okay. You keep the cuttings and you use these as jumper wires when you're, for example, joining LEDs together. So now instead of buying separate wire for jumper wires, I just cut these down to whatever length I need, and I keep all these little jumper wires, and now I have plenty of jumper wires whenever I need it. Oh, here's 20 for $2.99. Nice. That's 15 cents a piece. Because half of that would be $1.50 for 10 is 15 cents. So if you only want to order 20, get them for $2.99. Tito. There's the rain, fairy rain bucket LED for $3. So if you want to design your own of that. Oh, here's a big screen one for $4. Yeah, that looks like the big screen. Is this the one that takes the 2032s? Looks like it. Looks like the same thing I got. That's the same thing? Yeah. Yep, exactly the same thing. So now you can get that for $4. I'll add that. Because it has a bigger screen, easier to see. Here's the little light. You can usually get these for $1.99. But here's a similar one. This is not the exact same light. This is a similar light. These little keychain lights. That's what they use those little LED cobs in. So I guess one of them figured out, well, we can just sell the cobs and people will buy them. Yes, we will buy them. Is that per or per 10? Because if that's per switch, that's a lot of money. This is the switch that I use. Yeah, you're crazy. That's a lot of money. One piece for $2.19? Screw you. There it is. There it is. That's the keychain light that uses the little cob. By the way, if you want to make yourself a replacement flash, if you don't care about lithium iron phosphate and you just want to make yourself a longer lasting flashlight, very, very cheap, you buy one of these. This actually pops off. You go search on YouTube, you can see people who do this. One guy who actually has 3D print files, he used 4 18650 cells. In the back is the back of this module, and the front is this front of this module, so that it uses all the existing charging circuitry and everything. And all you're doing is basically replacing the battery in the shell. Now you have a really long-lasting flashlight that uses this hardware. So you get this for $2. Wonder why that's more money. Oh, this one's got like a swiveling hinging thing. This is the one you want, just the standard one. But yeah, these things are, they sell millions of these. Millions of them. It's basically the same thing, it just has a grid in front of it. Here's the heat sinks, 40 by 40, $1.39. They're very cheap. They are shockingly affordable. Solar generator charge controller. And you can get these little toy cameras really cheap now. I've gotten them as low as $8. They're okay. I don't like this style one because it defaults to video. The one that has the flip up screen, same shape but flip up screen, it defaults to pictures. but it's only a 1 megapixel image. It's really crappy. And the other problem is you can't just leave it in the car for spur of the moment photography because they never actually turn off, so they self-discharge very quickly. So you always have to plug them in. I gotta get more of these. I keep losing them. This allows me to plug USB-C cables into a regular port. I keep losing the freaking things. Oh, there's a 100-piece set for $2. These are the screws that I use for all my 3D prints. So these are a modified truss head. That is what you want to use 3D printing. Oh no, not this kind. You don't want the drill head. You want the spiky head, not the drill head. Screen. Am I not showing the screen? I am. Silicone wire. That's the best wire to use. Let's see. 18 gauge is the only one they have. How long is that? Only a meter? Ow. There's better deals. There's a 5-meter set for $279. I want to figure out something to use this round heatsink with, just because it's cool. I know that's dumb, but I want to build something around this, just because that is such a cool looking heatsink. So, in fact, I'll probably check out those round ones. This is also a good heat shrink tubing set to get. Now, this one here is no box, so that's like a refill. What you do is you get the 580-piece set in a box, 560, 580, whatever. Get one of these sets that comes with the box, and then when you need more of this stuff, you buy this for $1.59 and you use it to refill your kit. These are a pain. They work, man, are they a pain. I have a problem where no matter what I do, it's hard to squeeze this without it turning in your hand. Just such a pain. But they're cheap and they work. So I can't complain too much. In fact, I want to add this to my list, because I want to make a flashlight designed around that heatsink, just because it's so freaking cool. In fact, I saw the top, maybe? I saw, oh, the page refreshed. So we're going to have trouble finding it. But I saw round LED emitters that might fit on that heatsink. There it is. There they are. There it is, 10 watt. Hey, Big Bad Joe. Yeah, I finished the old school lantern light. It came out really nice. I'm super, super happy with how that came out. And I found out I have no batteries for it because, they got lost in the mail. So I got to order them again, which is take 2 weeks, fucking 2 months to get here. So I found out I could run it off USB temporarily. Yeah, it's really bright. I'm really happy with how that came out. We just made some minor changes. We added a pin to this and a receptacle to this because this rotates. And if that rotates, it's loosening the screws. So by adding the pin, it won't be able to rotate. The battery is so god-awful big, I don't think there's any point in adding a solar panel. And if you want to add a solar panel, just plug in a 5-volt solar panel right here into the USB. Because like the only place to add a solar panel would be right here, and that's blocked by this. Solar panels do not like being partially blocked. It's you get very pissy when you do that. So that would be, you would have to either be designed for it, like for example, solar panel here, and you'd have to lay it upside down, something like that. But with a 20 amp hour battery, I mean, unless you're going camping for months, you're not going to have to recharge the battery. This will run about 3 days on these 4 lights. continuously. Turn it on. 72 hours later, this will start dimming. And I'm going to work on one that takes 2 batteries. Then you have USB charging built in as well. I also got the hat lights I'm working on. So this one's going to run on 18-volt batteries. So 6S 2P configuration. This one is going to run all parallel, so it runs off of one of those batteries. Just finding ways to use these stupidly cheap LEDs that you can get off of AliExpress. 12.5 cents a piece. You get 20 of them for $3, which is about 15 cents a piece. And if you buy 30 of them, you get down to 12.6 cents a piece. So these are stupid cheap. I have bagfuls of them. Every now and then I'll just add it to an order. It's only $3. I also found I found this for $4. One with the bigger screen and the 2032 cell. And then I also found one that's only 70 millimeters that I really like because it's short, but it's like $9. So I'm like, well, I'll just buy another one of these for $4 and cut it in half. That'll work. So it's too bad I can't get the 7-watt one. Huh. Or the 10 watts. I want the 10 watt. I want something that'll use that heatsink. I just think that, oh, there's one. There we go, 10 watts. Oh, it's multicolor. Warm, white. I want a new. There you go. There's a 10-watt emitter. Oh, I didn't switch. That one's only $1.39 and it's 10 watts. It's 50 millimeters across. Let's add that to the list. Now, would that pair with this? I don't know. I'll have to find that again because I can't click on it here for some reason. Oh, let me show you the stuff I got from. Check it out. So Cassandra, Foxy Alley, she made my maker coins for me that we designed 2 weeks ago, and they came out absolutely nothing short of amazing. I am like absolutely blown away. And if you want one of hers, you got to show up at Rocky Mountain Rep Rep. But there's the one side. We got rid of the chip, the maker chip thing, so we can make this bigger because this is just barely within the capabilities of the printer to print this. Then here's the other side. Now I gave this one a 3D effect. This is the proper 3 millimeter thickness, but what I did is I lowered the level on the inside here by 0.3 millimeters so that this would not only print cleaner, but you can actually feel it with your finger now. So it stands out. It's really cool. Yeah, I am super, super pleased. This actually looks worse than it does in person because you're seeing this supersized. In person, it actually looks way better. But I am super, super pleased with how well they came out. And DeWitt, Tim Alcoin from Canada, he sent me a whole bunch of stickers. So I will have these nice big patch-sized stickers to hand out at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap. Makes me super happy. And I finally have a cool maker coin. Some tips if you're going to make your own maker coin. Hang on. Let's see. Take this. Yeah, they really did come out nice. I am just blown away with how good they came out. So, for example, here's how I'm going to, if I were to print these myself, this is what I would do. If you're willing to if you're willing to sacrifice not having the multicolor on the side here. So the top is only 2 layers. The bottom is only 2 layers. Would you come on? Gotta mess with me. So this is only 2 layers thick, which means this only has to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 color changes to do this. And then when it prints the body of the coin, there's no color changes. It's all one color. And then when you get to the top, where you get the maker chip part, again, stop it. Boy, I hate that feature. Again, we're using 4 colors now, so that's only 8 color changes to do the top of the coin. So you're only going to have 14 color changes for the entire maker coin. And if you're doing a plate of them, it's the same 14 color changes. You can see what I did here. The maker coin is the proper thickness, but this center part, I lowered it a little bit so that these pop out a little bit. So the first layer is embedded with this first layer, but the second layer is on its own, which allows, first of all, it makes these pop so they don't, you see it here. See how the letters are a little softer because they're embedded with the plastic, while these look a little crisper. That's because there's no plastic surrounding them. So not only does that make them a little crisper, but it also gives a 3D effect that you can both see and feel. So you put your finger on this and like, oh, I can feel that. And yet it's still the proper 3mm maker chip thickness, so it's going to fit in all the gadgets and all that stuff. So OBS disconnected and reconnected momentarily. But it worked, and the result is it's incredible. I mean, it truly is amazing. I mean, look how nice that looks. It just came out so freaking good. I am super, super happy with how that came out. And I love how these stickers came out. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this came out. Especially the cat. I was surprised how the details came out. Now, if maybe you guys can help me with this, I want to find Rocky, from Hail Mary. Rocky doing the thumbs down thing because he can't do thumbs up because his limbs won't bend that way. But I want him line art like this cat. And so what I'll do is I want to do special edition maker coins where I change the figure that shows up here. So maybe I'll have a rocket here. Maybe I'll have whatever current latest meme is going on, like Rocky from Hail Mary. Just different styles. So I got special edition coins, so they're not all the same. Gotta collect them all. Back on here, yes. But yeah, I am so happy with how those came out. I cannot thank you enough, Cassandra, for printing those for me. They came out so incredibly well. I'm gonna, if I have enough money, if I get enough people to do the chime thing, I'm going to get a Cobra X. But I have to pay my bills first. I got to pay my property taxes. That's $300. I got to pay my car insurance. That's $360. I got to pay my electric bill. That's $254. And I'll be caught up behind right now. But if I have enough left over, I'm going to get a Cobra X. That's $400. I would love to get the new X2C or X2D from Bamboo, but that's $900. I just don't have that kind of money. Have you guys seen that new X2D? It's quite impressive. So it has a dual extruder or 1.5 extruder. So it's got a direct drive extruder and a Bowden extruder on the front. So it can do TPU. And then it also comes, or you can get the AMS. You can get it without the AMS for like $650 and $899 with the AMS. And same 256 cube build volume. Built-in heated chamber. It's got a chamber heater, and it's got carbon filtration. It's really impressive. The only downside that I wish they could have fixed this. I think they made a big mistake using the Bowden for the second extruder for the hot end. They should have put the H2D hot end in here, even if it would have cost a little more. Because the problem is you can't use the AMS with TPU. And the AMS has to go through the direct drive hot end. And you can't use TPU through the Bowden hot end. Which means now you can't use your second hot end for TPU and then 4-color up here. Because, yeah, I did not get the email from YouTube. That's really annoying. There's Ender. Noel is inside the tree. I think. I can't tell. I think he's inside the tree. Ender's right there. Good boy. But this thing that's a lot of printer for the buddy. I mean, Bamboo started off with expensive printers. Now they're making printers that nobody else is going to have a easy time competing with. Look at this, $8.99. I do hate the fact that they're self-limiting in order to expand their own line. I know why they do it. I still hate it. Like, this only goes to 300 degrees, even though it's the same hot end as the other one that goes to 350. So why won't this one go to 350? It's because they don't want to cannibalize sales of the other one. I get it. I don't like it, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, you can get just the dual nozzle unit with the 649 or with the AMS combo for $8.99. That's actually an incredible value. You basically, because this is what I want. I want 5 colors, and this gives you 5 colors. There's so many times where you want 5 instead of 4. It's like, oh, one more color, just one more color. Of course, then you want 6, and then you want 7, then you want 8. But still, there's a lot of times where 5 is just so much better than 4. That gives you that option to do 5. Oh my god. Yeah, there's little tips you can do, like especially with things like this, to reduce the number of color changes you have to do. So, for example, printing this, your purge waste is almost non-existent. Also, by definition, this is a coin, which means by definition, there's no overhangs. Okay? There's no overhangs, which means there's no penalty to using thicker layers. So you print with 0.3 millimeter layers. It is exactly identical to 0.2, except you have 50% fewer layers, which also means 50% fewer color changes and 50% fewer purge changes. Because if you have 30 layers at 0.3, that means you have 10 layers, while at 0.2 you have 15 layers. Okay, so and there's no benefit to going at 0.2 or 0.1 or 0.04. There's no benefit because there's no overhangs. You're printing directly on top of the previous layer with no over. It's a coin. It's flat. There's no overhangs. Which means there's absolutely zero penalty to using a 0.3 millimeter layer height. In fact, I wonder, we might have to test this. I wonder if we can get away with a 0.4. I think that'd be pushing it. Just because you're going to have pressure issues. But I'm wondering if we can get away with 0.4. Maybe 0.35. but then you'd have to adjust your layers to accommodate. Like these here are 0.6, so that it's 2 layers at 0.3 or 3 layers at 0.2. The point is that this is using 0.6, it's compatible with both 0.2 and 0.3 layer heights. That's one of the reasons I chose 0.3, because it's cross compatible. But yeah, I am absolutely ecstatic with these. They just came out so freaking nice. I got a big old box of them. I'm still amazed it does such a good job. You know, you would think there'd be more, these connections here to be more obvious, but it looks fine to me. I mean, I'm really impressed with how nice it comes out. Oh, man. Any other goodies available? There's the heat sinks we talked about, micro switches, insulation tape. These heat sinks are only a little bit more, and they have the thermal pad already on it, which is nice. These would be handy for trailers, because you never have to worry about it. They just always charge up. What kind of batteries do they use? Because this is where you want to use nickel metal hydride, because it will last forever. It'll also be easy to replace. I have a feeling it might use lithium ion, which is annoying. Doesn't say. 100 milliamp built in. 400 milliamp hour. That means it's probably lithium ion. I'm not sure though. Huh. This is the kind of thing where I might want to design my own, make it a little bit bigger, a little more solar panel, a nice battery like a nickel metal hydride AA battery to last for years. And the more importantly, when the battery does eventually die, it'll be easy and cheap to replace it. That's the big thing is I hate the idea of throwaway culture. That's one of the reasons I design all these things is I hate the idea of the throwaway culture that we have. Oh, there it is. There's the heatsink. How big is that designed? How big is that central disc? Oh, there it is. Can't read it. Oh, it's got. I think it has a measurement, but I can't freaking read it. It's 72 across, but how big is this center section? It looks like about 1/2, so it's only 30 millimeters. That 10-watt cob, though, that 10-watt emitter was 50 millimeters. Interesting. I'll have to think about. This. Oh, battery adapter for rigid batteries. What I'm having trouble finding is finding a reflector cone LED setup. David needs the address on RM. Um, my table will be. Oh, they changed it. That's annoying. Looks like they moved everything around. See, I usually have my table right here. Looks like I'll have to have my table back here or over here. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, here's the walkthrough over to here. Huh. That's annoying. I like having an end spot so that I don't have to walk behind other people. Where is the address? I don't want to know the crossroad exit. I want the address. How do they got to make it hard? There it is. $52.80 Arena Circle, Loveland, Colorado, 80538. These are just reflectors. I noticed that these reflectors get bleached in the sunlight over time. They all turn silver. Rawr, the cat's got a knife. Run. Nothing else interesting, huh? Oh, well. Ooh, what are these? They're only 3 watts. Some beat. More power. I have one saved. I think I found one as low as $4. Yeah. This one here, I think. Yeah, 78 millimeter, 10 watt, $4.84. That might be worth playing with. There's a 15 watt for $7.75 at 110 millimeter. But I'd go with the smaller one. I'd rather have something around 50 millimeters though. I also have this. Apparently this is pretty common, this P6 or whatever it is. This module is a pretty common module. It's 1,000 lumen, so that's 10 watts. But how do you cool that down? I don't see an easy way of transferring the heat off of that. That is not enough surface area for 10 watts. You're not. Oh, here's the camera. It's 15 now, but you keep searching, you can eventually get it for under 10. But this one here has it defaults to pictures, which is nice. This the hitter as well. This is nice because it's designed to run off 4.2 to 5 volts, which means I'd be undervolting it, running it off of my battery. Oh, it's the same thing. This is definitely what that guy was using, though. That sure looks like what that guy was using. YouTube videos. I might have to try this one because this looks like what he was using. Okay. What's the difference here? I see two. Like, what's the difference? Which one's which? Oh, I hate when they're unclear. Like, are they both this style or they one the other style? I mean, the hell gives? He got a pretty good beam pattern out of this, though. So this is probably going to be the one I'll go with when I get around to trying this. For the double-ended flashlight, this is probably what I have to run. Because this is small enough to fit. Not being huge. That, you know, that one's 4 inches across. It's a big boy. Yeah, but those are the ones I found. All right. I think that's it. I'll be bringing all of my projects to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap. So if you're going to be there, I'll be there. You can see my goodies in person. I'm also going to bring the big tower light. That's going to be fun to show that off. I know you. Sorry, I didn't. If you want a maker coin, you got to come to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap. Get your maker coin. I might try to do a little bit of streaming, maybe. We'll see. Again, depends on content, data connection, if I can get a viable data connection or not. I'll definitely post some shorts. Those seem to work out really well. Just, record a 30-second short of each booth and upload it. That definitely seemed to work pretty good. The I gotta finish packing the car. I got 4 brand new tires. Paul, one of my patrons, bought me 4 brand new tires. My tires were getting pretty ratty, so that's a huge relief. I also have AAA. So if I get stuck or get a flat, I'm good. Bought the hazard protection for the tires, so if I hit something and it tears a tire apart, I get it replaced. So that gives me peace of mind to know I have good tires and AAA, just in case something happens. I got the Premier, so I get a 200-mile tow. So as long as I make it more than halfway home, it'll get me all the way home. Nice. Yeah, I still can't see individual sales. I don't know why. It just doesn't show me. I'll show you. So, Amazon. So when I go to view full report, here's each day, but I can't click on any of this. There's just somebody spent $357 this day, but there's nothing for me to click on. And there's no earnings report for me to click on. Normally there's an earnings report for me to click on, but they got rid of that, which is really sad. That's kind of annoying. So I enjoy being able to do that. Maybe they got tired of people realizing when they're not being paid. So they just hide the data now. Well, instead of answering your questions, we're just not going to show you anymore. Like, really? Like, that's how you're going to do it? Lame. Lame. Yeah, I'm not even close to the threshold for the special. This month they're doing, if I hit $3,150, I get a $65 flat fee. At $729, and we're halfway through the month. So yeah, that's not happening. These are bad months anyway. What are you gonna do? I am so happy with how that came out. I have no idea. There's one day where there's $300 in revenue. I have no idea if that's you or not. I can't look and see what the items were for some reason. It just doesn't appear to be a way for me to see it anymore. Yeah, I could see, gross data, but I can't click on any of these days. Like this one here, $303. I can't click on it. So I have no idea what was sold. I know it was 6 items. That's all I know, though. Is that 10th. So that's this day. Yeah, I can't. No way for me to get details about linked product. No, see, that comes up with nothing. So that's probably it then. So there's the 10th. Someone ordered $303 worth of stuff. I got $10.61 for that day. Did I download? Linked product? Says it's generating. I don't need. I only need the last 7. Stop it. Throttled. No data found. It's doing something. I don't know what it's doing. Well, it's based on when it was shipped, not when it was delivered. So it pops up in the system for me when it ships. And it's not showing me. Probably because the report is empty. I bet you that's why they won't show us, too. That's annoying. Instead of fixing it, they just delete it. Oh, well. Not a big deal. Nothing I can do about it. Still can't put socks on. I can't reach my foot. No matter how much I bend and contort, I can't reach my foot. I can reach my big toe, but I can't reach the other 4 toes. I got to reach all 5 to get the sock around it. It's really annoying. The water pill's working. You know, I'm starting to gotta pee every hour, but it's starting to have an effect. All right, that's it. Let me get that link. Where did I put that link? In the Discord, I have the Chime link. Want to sign up for Chime? If you sign up between now and Saturday, I'll get a $300 bonus. So that's a way for you to send me $300 and it will cost you nothing. In fact, you'll also get $100. All you have to do is open up a Chime account using my link and do a direct deposit of more than $200. If you don't want to putz with your direct deposit, I can help with that. If you Zelle me $210 and also send me your account number and routing number from Chime, I will send back the $210 as a direct deposit. I can do that. Have your own business. It's a really handy thing called Melio. Elio. Free if you only have 10 vendors. So I have less than 10 vendors, so it's free. I can send direct deposits to qualify for the requirements for time. That's an easy way for you to, because I can help with the direct deposit. That's an easy way for you to send me $300 and you'll make $100 at the same time, and it'll cost you absolutely nothing. You just got to make sure that you activate that debit card as soon as you get it. Once you activate the debit card, we both get our money. A handy way to make some extra cash. If I make enough to pay off the current bills I have, like car insurance and property tax, electric bill, if I make enough, I'm going to get the Cobra X. I can afford that one if I get enough people to sign up. Yeah. Really? It's only $349? I thought it was $399. Wow. Okay. Actually, if I have enough, it'd be worth getting this. It's only $100 more, and you get the Ace system. So that gives you 7 colors. Now that's slick, because buying this unit separately is like $300. So for $449, I can get the Cobra X with one of the Ace boxes, and that'll give me 7 color printing for $450. Yeah, see, it's $289 for the H2 Pro. But if I get it with the printer as a combo, it's only $100. That's definitely the way to go. See, this isn't worth it. That's a lot more money. But that is a sweet deal. So you get some free filament. Yeah, that's a sweet deal. It also means that maybe later on I can grab myself a Cobra 3 Max, and I'll already have an Ace 2 Pro to connect to it. Wow. What size nozzles do they have? Oh, they have lots of nozzles. 0.4, 6, 8. They have a 0.25 in brass. No 1mm nozzle? Well, on a build volume that small, I don't need a 1mm. 4, 6, and 8 is plenty. Might be worth grabbing a spare toolhead assembly too. Discounted price. Huh. That's impressive. But yeah, if I can make enough money, I want to grab that. Cobra X with the H2 Pro for $449. That would be pretty nice. I can dream. I can dream. So you can get one off eBay for $2.99. What's this? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Oh, this is not the Max. I want the Max. Even still, $449 for a Cobra X with an Ace 2 Pro. That's hard to fucking beat, man. Jesus. I mean, that's a sweet spot right there. Wow. Plus tax. It's going to be $40 tax. Get charged over 8% tax here. Ideally, about $550, because I would like to get an extra couple of nozzles and an extra tool head, just in case. Suck to have the whole thing go down and have to wait until you can buy a tool head. Plus, you get it for half off if you buy it with the printer. Shows how much they're overcharging for it. But that's only if I make enough money. If I don't make enough money, I can't do it. I do not have $400. All right, that's it. I will see you guys later. Well, you guys would like to do the chime thing, message me in Discord. I can help with the direct deposit part. Send me the money by Zelle, and then I send it back by direct deposit. So you don't lose any money, you get it all back. Once you activate the debit card, I get $300 and you get $100. So not only do you not lose anything, help me get an extra $300, but gain $100 too. It's a win-win for everybody. Nothing's better than taking money from banks. Love taking money. All right, I will see you guys later. If you're going to go to Murph, I'll see you there at the Rocky Mountain Rep Rap. Otherwise, I will see you next week when I stream again. Be good. Keep your victims happy. Be nice to your family. Say hello to my kitty cats. The other one. There's the other kitty cat. And Noel. Sender. Love when I spread the blanket out like this. They curl up on it, and it guess it's comfortable. I love when its ears when its ears go. It's so cute. All right.